Position, concede VPs early, focus on board position, and try and win the game in final scoring. Chinese strategy is more, hey, you know what? Let's take risks. Let's not play around certain cards. You play for early VPs and try and win the game quickly rather than trying to win in final scoring when, in the late war, anything can happen with DEF CON, with Europe control, all kinds of stuff. Let's cut out those variables and try and win this thing on turn 4, is my understanding. Does that match your understanding?
Yep, definitely. I think the VP thing, considering space to be, what the sixth continent, seventh continent, it's its own region, right? Because you can very easily rack up, a plus 10 VP on the space race. So just think about it like any other domination, right?
Yes, certainly.
I think the other thing you mentioned is the aggressive play. Certainly, when I've played Chinese players, they are not shy about headlining, decall when defectors is not seen. So they'll go ahead and do that, and then certainly that aggressive spacing. And so I do like the aggressive style. It makes it kind of fun. Makes it you never really know what's going to happen. And again, we don't know the outcome of this, but I would expect, from what I have seen from watching Kris's games in the past, we will see him play pretty fast here.
Yes, he is well known for that. And so Jesse going with looks like a little bit of a non-standard setup. We're going to be watching Jesse's side today. Kris is the Soviets, Jesse is the USA, and Jesse has got what appears to be a fantastic containment hand here.
Yep, he does. He's going to be able to turn those 2-3 blue cards into 4s, and just like we were saying, comes the space. Jesse does lose points in my book for the slower animations, but I think we can look past that. He's certainly going to look to hold D-stall, I would imagine, and we'll see if anything goes to space with containment.
Okay, so Kris going right away with a duck and cover coup, I assume of Iran. Yep, there it is, and he empties it out. Okay, so a duck and cover coup of Iran, lower DEF CON to 3 immediately, would suggest that Kris, he clearly doesn't have D-stall, so he probably has decall. Would that be your estimation as well?
Potentially. I mean, that would make sense. It might be he just doesn't really have another good coup card, right? And if you can get away with duck and cover for just 1 BP, that's not a bad thing.
Yep, could be he just needed the ops. We'll see. So Jesse, interestingly, Ted, what do you think about the? Yeah, and there's decall. So what? 1 Thailand, 1 Algeria. Okay, he's going to Laos instead, figuring that he's going to take Thailand, going to Algeria to threaten France, and then Angola. Jesse's got plenty of ops here. What would you do? Would you put 2 in Thailand, or would you put 3 in Thailand, 1 in France?
I think that's probably what I would do. I would think about 2 and 2, but I think with containment here, I don't want to get Thailand flipped, and so I think I'm pretty confident in my ability to defend France.
Yeah, with Kris already in control of Laos, Indonesia, and Jesse kicked out of Western Asia, Thailand seems really, really important for Jesse to hold on to. I don't know that I would allow Kris the opportunity to flip with the China card, but he is going to give him that opportunity, so let's see if he takes advantage of it. Oh, he does not, and instead just going to take the coup to protect Angola.
Yep. I do like that as a Soviet. Sometimes you have that. So that's the other advantage of duck and cover, right? Is you're going to deny your opponent mill ops in the first turn. So there's 2 more VPs right there. Although Jesse does have IP war.
Yeah, but under containment, I don't know if we'll see Jesse event the IP war. With 3 ops might be worth more to him than 2 VPs on turn 1. We'll see. But if it were me, I personally would not give Kris a second chance to flip Thailand. I'd be putting another one in there immediately. I understand Kris's decision. I think it's a good one because denying mill ops, protecting Angola is really important. Because if you give up the China card to flip Thailand, then you're giving up a coup of Angola. You've lost access to Southern Africa. You've lost mill ops, and of course, you've lost the China card.
Yep. Okay, so interesting decision here. I mean, are you going to play Fidel or not? Right? Because I think you'd prefer Fidel there over letting Kris know that you don't have any scorings.
Yeah, I don't know. Under containment, I would concede Fidel here and take my 3 ops. Kris is going to take presence in the Middle East, which makes sense. He's going to go into Zaire, which also makes sense. Because certainly you're going to play Suez here under containment.
Yep, now might be a good time to do that as well.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of a break here. I like playing Suez under containment, getting it out of the deck. Worst case scenario, it's an empty action round.
Yeah, then you might be able to ignore the Israel point.
Yes, now Kris may just take 2 France and 2 UK and keep the Israel point, in which case you probably have to repair all of that. But you get a powerful Europe attack card out of the deck. Now, also, we should mention that Jesse needs to get a 4th into Italy here. We have not seen socialist governments, so I'll probably want to get a 4th there by the end of the turn. We will see. Obviously, defectors, purge, all that stuff can help protect him in Europe, but I would certainly be more comfortable getting a 4th into France and in Italy as well. What do you think, Ted?
Yeah, he's going to need 2 more points in Europe there. I understand the Algeria instinct here. I think that's a pretty good one, but he is going to need a couple more points in Europe here.
Yep, I agree. And so, okay, Kris is going to even out the Middle East. Oh, and Jesse is going to go for IP war, so he gets the 2 VPs, but he gives up 3 ops, and I think those ops could have been quite useful here. Now you're going to play Suez, and Kris is probably going to take all 4 out of Europe, and you're just going to want to repair that. Okay, that helps. Now Kris takes an Asia domination.
Yeah, that was a little bit of the other issue with playing IP war there, is it lets him do that. Because I like eventing IP war much, much more when it has the chance to flip a country.
Yeah, or at least just get you 1 influence. Yep, and as we suspected, Kris ignores Israel. And so Jesse got an interesting choice with this last op. He could go Philippines and stop domination, but now France and Italy both very weak to socialist governments. So let's see if Kris gets it here. Okay, Sock Govs, Marshall, and Purge. Wow, this is an excellent hand for Jesse. The only negative thing, obviously, is that blockade means he's not going to be able to hold D-Stall through.
Yep, but I don't think he can complain. This is great. I mean, on the flip side, getting purged here would have been terrible.
So the one card he's got to worry about here is de Gaulle in France, because Marshall's not going to save him from de Gaulle.
I think you purge here, though, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, because you don't have to worry about socialist government. So I think purge is probably the right choice. Marshall only protects you in Europe. Oh, okay. So Kris did not get de Gaulle, and he was just hoping that Jesse had defectors.
Hey. Oof.
Okay, so Kris gets CIA out immediately. Could have UN'd it, but he's got a great UN target here in US Japan. NATO right now is not active. And he's got Truman as well. I think we'll just see a Zaire coup here, right? Or Angola?
Yep, I think Zaire. Okay, yep.
Big roll. And we know Kris doesn't have any scorings.
Well, after Europe, of course. Now, if you're Jesse, do you event Marshall right here, knowing that your opponent has NATO and is going to have to play it?
Yeah, I was wondering that. Kris does not have Asia or Middle East scoring, so there's no immediate priorities there. I don't know that you're going to coup Saharan states. I like the idea of eventing Marshall. You eventually got to get an extra one into Italy. You got to get an extra one in France, and then I like getting into those Mediterranean countries. And overprotecting West Germany is nice as well. So yeah, it's 4 ops. You hate to give up 4 ops, but 2 of those 4 you definitely had to spend anyway. So I like eventing Marshall here to activate NATO.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that just makes your opponent's hand much more annoying. I suppose you could see Kris space NATO.
Yeah, he could. But let's force him. If it were me, I would say let's force him to do that.
Right, correct. Rather than just get free 4 free ops.
Right, Ted, I'm having some issues here with my monitor. It's all on my end.
Okay. Well, Jesse declines to play Marshall and instead uses Blockade, and Kris, rightfully so, immediately plays NATO to take Saudi Arabia. I think that is a good play. He is now 1 point away from dominating the Middle East.
Yep, I think that's a good play.
Yeah, I do think looking at this now, I do think that Marshall plan, eventing Marshall plan, there was the right play because, like you said, you do need the extra point in France and Italy at some point here, and then overprotecting the others is nice.
Yeah, I like that. I like that play, and so Jesse opts not to do that and instead allow NATO to be played with no effect. Just takes advantage of the opportunity. Uses the 4 to get into Saudi Arabia, tie up the Middle East. Marshall's just a good event in general to event in the early war. Even if you've already got Europe domination and it's already scored, it's just a strong event. With de Gaulle coming with any number of things. Socialist government's obviously going to be shuffled back in the deck.
I think Algeria has to be right.
Yeah, I like Algeria more than Israel here. You know that Kris does not have Middle East scoring, and there's a good chance you're getting dominated anyway on turn 3, with Nasser yet to be seen, and of course the opportunity for Kris to coup in the Middle East. Of course, assuming we don't see duck and cover again. And I don't know if I'd want to take Israel. I think Algeria is a higher priority for me. Who goes for the coup? And rolls a 1, normally a terrible roll, but in this case allows Jesse to get the 2 Milops points. Okay, so I wonder if Kris is just going to go right back in there. Yep, he is.
Yes, I mean, just let him have it. I would just happily take Algeria.
Yes, I would be fine trading Algeria for Nigeria here. Now, Kris has just lost access to Italy, but he's going to get it right back with Comecon, so I still feel like you want to have that 4th in Italy.
Well, yes, and then France is the biggest problem. Yeah.
Yeah, Suez is gone, but again, de Gaulle still there. And yeah, with de Gaulle still out, you've definitely got to get another one into France. So what are Jesse's priorities here? Asia has yet to come out, but Kris does not dominate it at this point. But Kris also looks like he's got more access. He can take India. He is Jesse's unlikely to step into Vietnam. What would you think about taking South Korea here with the war unseen? I don't think it was in Kris's hand. I believe it was not in Kris's hand.
It was not in his hand. It's risky, but I kind of think you have to do it because I would assume we're going to see Kris use the UN, US Japan. I don't know why that's more of a priority than Algeria, but okay.
Okay. I would definitely rather see Algeria here. It's way too early to think about African realigns. I would have rather seen 2 Algeria, 1 South Africa.
But anyways, Kris, I would expect him to use the 3 from US Japan in India to establish domination there, and so
he is going to go for those realigns. Wow, this is a little early for this, for my taste, but it is also a little bit of a defensive measure because you obviously don't want to have Kris take Botswana and get realigned out of South Africa.
Yep, and now there's that. Nice play by Kris here, because Jesse is in a tough spot. He can use 3 Israel to stop that domination, but he's also going to finish taking Algeria and at some point think about defending Asia and Europe. And so that's where those realigns become an issue. Is that those are three ops that you can't
Now,
use elsewhere.
what I will say is country count in Middle East. We rarely talk about it, but just one op in Jordan here will stop domination. And then, yeah, I don't know. I guess you can put 2 in South Korea. You could flip Laos, I guess. That would give you 5 countries to 3. Try and stop domination that way.
I think if you're Jesse, you need a space socialist here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yes. So you want a space socialist, so you don't have an empty action round or a space shot on AR6.
And you get to see what Kris does with the 3. I have to imagine it's going to be India, but we'll see.
Yeah. So, Algeria. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna UN. He's gonna UN, US, Japan. I have to think he'll get 1 into South Korea, or maybe he'll just spend all 3 in India. He's just gonna take India. Okay. So it is as you said. So that gets him domination. So ooh, that's interesting.
Huh.
Okay, well, Ted, you're a North Korea jammer. What do you think of that?
I mean, I like it here because, listen, I mean, it's either he's got to give up North Korea or he's got to give up Nigeria.
Yeah.
Asia's yet to be seen, so he had to break domination there because otherwise Kris could have just headlined it. This is interesting. Okay, and now you have the dilemma as Jesse. Yes, and I think again, in my experience, this is just my experience playing Chinese players. I would headline defectors.
Yep. So if you don't headline, I kind of would have liked Jesse to put 1 in Jordan there because that stops domination, and then he could freely headline Middle East with Nasser in hand, knowing he's only going to give up 1 VP. But it is a non-battleground, and now Kris has to decide what he wants to do here. Jesse with no 4 ops. Kris knows that Jesse has defectors. I think defectors is the headline here.
Yeah, there's
get rid of Middle East. Oh, well, see, and Kris redrew Europe. So nice play by Jesse to avoid the temptation of defectors. Now a 4-op coup, I assume. Zaire. Okay.
No, that's a good place for a coup. Okay. Ooh. Would you give up Angola and just take North Korea? I think that's what I would do.
Yeah, so that's an interesting decision. So Kris is now going to have to take back North Korea. I would assume this is a great place to use a China card and just take back North Korea.
Or you can do that too. Yeah.
Kris has the score. He can play it at his leisure. So Kris assuming correctly that Jesse does not have a 4-op because he only played a 3 there. Took Vietnam, which takes domination back. So, and Kris also has the war.
He does.
Also has Korean War. And Jesse redrew D-Stall, which is nice for him. So, country count, Jesse is down 5-4 at the moment. So he can even it out by taking South Korea. Then Kris can simply retake North Korea. So I think looks like Jesse's gonna have a tough time preventing domination in Asia here. Now he does have a 9 VP lead, so that's hardly the end of the world. He also got De Gaulle, so he's not got an opportunity to get that out of the deck, or he can space it if he wants to. In the Middle East is scored before Nasser, which he loves to see. So things looking pretty good for Jesse. Probably gonna be looking pretty good for Jesse heading into the war, despite the fact he's probably giving up an Asia domination here.
Yep, I mean the VP track's going to look real different after the Milops and Asia scoring, so that should be much closer to even. He is going to prevent D-Stall here, which is nice. But I don't. so Europe scored. All the early war regions are going to be scored. I think it really okay. All right, so he's not going to give up the mill up. So I forgot about Saharan states there. I'm
Do
going
you
to
have thought
concede
about
the Asian.
flipping Laos there? Oh no. Okay, so Kris is going to take back North Korea here. That makes sense. So flipping Laos stops domination temporarily. Now, if you flip Laos with NORAD, you're really left. You've got a 1, a 2. De Gaulle is an empty action round or space. And then obviously you're not playing D-stall.
Yeah, I like. I mean, the coup there was good. I just don't know that flipping Laos gets you much. I mean, if Kris is forced to, he just use the China card to take
Yeah.
South Korea.
Okay. Yeah, I like this. I like this. You concede the domination and play for board position here. It's going to be, what, 6-point domination here for Kris?
I think so. Yep.
So Jesse looks like he's going to be up 3 heading into the war, depending on any space outcome here. So I think Jesse, with 3 remaining action rounds, I think you want to take Mexico. You want to get another one into Angola. I still would like to get another one in Italy, even with Europe scored, but I guess that's less of a priority now.
Okay. Well, instead, he says, you know what? Africa will be mine.
Yeah. Okay. So, 2 ops from Kris to protect Cuba. Nasser, not a problem to give up. That Nasser came out at the ideal time for Jesse. So, I don't love leaving Angola at 1. You basically have 1 op here.
Yeah. Mexico's a problem too. Because
now it's turn 3 and Europe scored. Normally, Ted, as you know, I'm a big fan of getting De Gaulle out of the deck as an empty action round. But on turn 3 with scored, would you space De Gaulle instead? Try and get to that second spot. Now, of course, you worry about one small step. What would you do with De Gaulle here?
I would probably just event it for the empty action round. Just because I would, knowing myself, I would forget about it later on, and then I'd get France flipped on me in turn 7 or turn 8.
Yep. Okay, well, so Kris redrew U.S.-Japan. Happy to give it up now. And indeed, we're getting jammed. And that is smart because Kris knew that those were Jesse's last 2 cards.
He did not know about D-stall.
Oh, that's true. He didn't know about D-stall. That's right. D-stall was a redraw.
But that was a mean thing to do.
Yep. Now Europe is scored, so yeah, Truman is gone. Truman's not coming around to help you.
Yeah, that NORAD flip of Nigeria doesn't look great now.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you do here, Ted? Are you just going to take De Gaulle, do the ops first, and then leave France at 4-4?
Well, now I think about spacing De Gaulle, right?
Yeah, you could space it.
And just figure it out next turn.
Yep, and Italy's still vulnerable to socialist governments. I know I keep harping on that. I should stop. Again, Europe has already scored. There's more important regions on the board. Actually, all the early war regions are scored.
Right.
Our efforts are made in the belief that
no, I think I spaced De Gaulle here because doing that hands over.
Can't do that.
France. Yeah, you cannot do that.
of goodwill cannot solve or adjust.
I just think spacing is better. I mean, why? Okay. I suppose that's fine. I think I'd rather put the other one go.
It's not an appreciable difference between 3-3 and 3-4, I guess, in France. If it's uncontrolled, then you can still get it with 1 op.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I do think you gotta either space it or you gotta put 2 of them in there. Okay, and these
Yeah.
are in the opposite space.
Spaces, and he gets the roll.
Oof.
Okay, wow. We've got some firepower here.
And Lib Theo in hand, so he does not have to worry about that.
Yep.
Don't hit enter.
This
Okay.
is what a hand. Yes, that is accurate. What a hand.
Okay. Well, that is not too bothersome. Ooh. I think we're gonna see a coup here.
Yeah, I think just the coup.
And rolls big.
Big roll, and now Africa control.
Yep. That
Now
worked
you
out quite well.
could see a flip here of Nigeria.
Yep, I have to imagine that is what will happen. Now, Jesse could just turn around and event nuclear subs. I don't think we'll see him do that because Nigeria would be his only target post flip. Ooh.
Okay, so he's just going to give up China right here to take France. Okay.
Kris might have a tough hand if that is the case.
Yes. And he might also have had a scoring card he was counting on getting rid of a 5-year plan. I'd like to see Nigeria overprotected here.
Yes, I think one in Nigeria, one in Mexico makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Mexico's not threatened here. Well, I mean, brush war or ABM, I suppose, but I don't know what the rush on that was.
Yeah. Okay. So the Nigeria coup. Yep. So yes, Jesse making light of the fact that he's getting some big rolls here. Okay. Well, not going for Mexico. And a 1 here for Kris. Wow. Okay. So another VP. So now 1 in Mexico does give domination.
Yes.
So now, Ted, how would you handle the rest of this hand? Because obviously, there's the concern about D-stall with Kris using salt to pick it up. You'd like to hold Junta till next turn so you can lower DEFCON and protect Africa, but you also got a space Lib Theo. So would you try? Okay, so he's going to go for the Junta immediately.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Africa needs to be defended here because control is 10 points. You need to preserve that. I'm trying to figure out what's in Kris's hand that's causing him to event Ussuri, right, rather than space it. What is the other card he's going to space?
Yeah, maybe he has cultural and just is going to use that to take it back to take back China.
That Junta, that doesn't get you all that much.
Yeah, and I would be worried about a brush war just flipping Argentina. I almost always go into Chile in that situation, but then again, I play much more conservatively than someone like Kris does, because I would be so worried about an ABM or a brush immediately wiping me back out. Okay, Kris coups Haiti to protect Cuba, rolls a 6. And now 1 up into Chile and Mexico, so he gives Central America domination.
Yeah, I just don't love the way that Junta was used. I just didn't think he got maximum value for that. I mean, you ideally use it to attack 2 battlegrounds.
I agree, but with D-stall gone, with D-stall in his hand, you weren't going to get off a great Junta. Junta, the real purpose of it would have been to potentially hold to next turn to lower DEFCON, protect Africa. But I'm still so at this point. Now Central America is no longer dominated, and so another coup, another 6. Wow, big successful coups in these Central American one-stab non-battlegrounds.
Okay, yeah, I figured that was Kris's other card that he wanted to space. Favorite Ussuri. Okay. Yep. Congratulations, sir. You got your 2 points.
Yep. Nice.
I just think that Central's never worth fighting over like that for the U.S. I don't think.
Okay, so I think you're spacing here, right?
Yes.
facing the Liberation.
Yeah, man. I'm so nervous about Africa. I really don't like it.
Sorry, you're so nervous about what?
About Africa. I mean, he's got.
Okay, Chris's hand was truly awful.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a nice roll for him.
That helps.
Not going to go back to space to try and get headline peak. Instead, events OAS. Opening those up to being potential coup targets. We'll see how that works out for him. But again, keeps D-Stall in his hand in case Kris draws salt.
Yep, and Kris has no shortage of coup targets.
Yes, so. And now Kris. So now Kris, very quietly, if Kris has Portuguese, that stops. Sorry. Jesse just no longer has control. He no longer has domination because he doesn't have a non-battleground. He's also only got one in Angola, which is pretty weak. Now he does draw South African and D-Call, so he's very happy to see those in his hand. But with D-Stall also in his hand, he's going to have to give one of them up. It's a potentially tricky hand here.
Yes, if I think let's see. It's got to be Kitchen or Panama. You can't headline duck and cover.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can. I don't think you can headline duck and cover here. I like Panama. Get that second one into Venezuela.
I like Panama as well. You get the adjacency to Panama. Duck and cover actually is. I do think you can headline it because I think that Kris wants the coup so badly here.
Yeah.
That I don't think you'd see him play. We will bury you. Okay.
So Jesse takes his 2 VPs, and Kris gets into Chile. Now we're going to see a coup, no doubt, in Africa. And it's going to go to Nigeria. And another 6. Man, coup's rolling hot tonight.
All right, so I think you take Algeria here and just say, if you want to realign, go for it.
Okay, so he's just going to take back Algeria, and then, another in Angola.
Yep. Okay, so now he's in a decent position here to get his domination.
Yep, but he did not get. But he didn't take domination there, which is interesting. I don't know. I think the fact that Kris headlined Allende instead of Portuguese, I think Portuguese is probably a stronger headline there.
Yes, I agree.
So the fact that Kris didn't headline it and that Jesse holds South African and D-Call would have suggested the second in Angola could have probably waited, and I might have gone one Cameroon. Okay, so Kris jamming here. I think Jesse has to fix that.
Yep, I agree.
But now, not a lot of ops left to take this domination in Africa.
Right, you have squads, and that's about it. Okay, yep, that makes sense. Okay, so now you have the issue of one in Brazil, one in Africa.
Yeah, I like one in Brazil, one in Cameroon, I think. Right?
Yeah, I don't. Okay, I think that would have been better as an event.
I liked Panama for the event there. You got to get one in Venezuela anyway, and a third in Panama and one in Costa Rica is nice too. A realign here in Algeria, one roll, and he gets a big roll again.
Okay, well, okay, that's reasonable.
Yep. Now I head on country count 4-1. So Kris filling up Algeria won't stop domination. Yeah, he's just so he's going to take Algeria and concede just 4 points here.
Yep. So down from 10 at the end of last turn. So Kris is happy with that, although he does go down 11 VP now.
Kris certainly in some trouble now. I think you've got to go to space here. South African is repairable now, so I think D-Call is what's going to space.
Yes.
And then you finish up with Brezhnev with no more double space.
That's kind of
interesting. Okay. So there are 2 scoring cards left in the deck. It's pretty unlikely on turn 5 that Jesse's going to draw both, but we'll see. I don't like discarding both here. Oh, okay, that's a nice redraw.
Okay, well, that works out.
See a Brazil jam here? Yep.
Yep, that's exactly what he does. Okay, Jesse, I think Brezhnev to Venezuela and Brazil makes a lot of sense.
I think that's right play.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that the luck has favored Jesse here. Some good rolls by both players, but I think the cards have mostly been on Jesse's side so far. And Kris, had to score Europe twice for 10 BP.
Yeah. Scoring card timing has been an issue for Kris. Having to give up 10 VPs. Now, he has France now, but he had to give up 10 VPs in Europe. Middle East did not come until turn 3. Asia did not come until turn 3. So on the board, he really doesn't look that bad. He's got domination in the Middle East and Asia. He's ahead in Europe, and because Jesse did not event Marshall, he has a chance to pick up a domination there as well. And he's got 2 battlegrounds in Africa now. Like the board does not look terrible. Now the fact remains, South America is unscored, is the only unscored region, and Kris is down 11 VPs. So he's in serious trouble. But if he can even out South America, flip a couple of battlegrounds, this could be a game in the late war.
Yeah, no, definitely Kris isn't out of it here, but another really strong hand for Jesse. No real problems, no real concerns. Space Socialist to G-Stall hold the other, and then 3 ops. Bear Trap is a potential AR7, and of course ABM. We've already seen missile.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So Salt here is going to pick up. I've been talking about holding D-Stall for Salt. Kris does eventually get it, but D-Stall pretty useless at this.
Useless, yeah.
Right away.
Okay. And gets out of that. Special is a good. Well, no, never mind. NATO's not active. Going back to that turn 3 decision.
Yeah, I did like eventing Marshall there.
Okay, so
I also have not seen brush war. So a potential brush war in Italy, and then West Germany potentially looking vulnerable there. Okay,
Ooh.
So -1 realigns of France is interesting.
Well, plus 1, right?
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry. +1 realigns of France.
Obviously, if Jesse had Algeria, no brainer realigns here. I think.
Of course, yes.
Man, yeah, cooing Pakistan with a -1 isn't great. You just don't want to. There's nothing to coup here. It's the problem.
Yeah, you have Thailand, and you don't want. Kris could have brush war. Kris could have Southeast Asia scoring. But yeah, no good coup targets on the board. Really, I mean, you're gonna coup Algeria. You're gonna coup Panama, Iran. No, I don't like any of those choices.
No great choices here. I mean, I suppose you could coup Laos. With brush war on scene. I'm not super worried about Kris cooing Italy if I'm Jesse. It's at 3 and you have adjacency.
If you're Kris, though, is Thailand your brush war target, or is Italy your brush war target? And you're thinking maybe about Europe control.
Yeah, I think that would make sense as well.
Now, obviously, Europe control in the late war for the USSR is so hard. Okay, so he tries the coup in Pakistan and doesn't get.
Yeah, the one thing about the France realigns obviously could go sideways real easily, and then I suppose Kris could follow it up by realigning West Germany.
Yep, he certainly could. And now a poor roll in Thailand. I think that's an easy fix, and then you're going to give Kris a coup in probably South America would be my guess. Jesse wants to take domination there.
Yep. Okay. I guess that makes sense. I might have put 2 in Thailand and 1 in Colombia, maybe, but NATO again.
NATO's still not active. And another bad roll for Kris. So coups were hot early on, and in this turn they have been very much the opposite.
Yep. Okay.
So
So
I think this is pretty standard. And another big realignment. Wow, realignments have been strong today.
yeah, I don't know that I touch Argentina there.
No, not at just +1. Uruguay's fine.
Okay, let's see if Kris has the ops to go back into Chile there.
I mean, South America now is 8 points, right? I mean, we're coming up very close on game-losing territory if Kris has South America.
Yes, we are. Yep, this is not going great for Kris right now. There's not really a great way for it. Okay, so he does have the 4 ops to retake Joe.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, well, Jesse can pretty easily counter that.
Jesse's hand is very strong here. He's got lots of ops now. So he's got ABM. So Socialist Governments is an empty action round. Socialist Governments might be a card I actually want to hold through.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's the right idea. Just space D style, who cares? Okay, can I keep at it? Tehran, I think you just use. I'm not really scared of much that's out there.
Yeah, we've seen the Gunman. You just saw Quagmire. And the remaining 2 scoring cards favor.
This is interesting. Kris taking a page out of the Playdeck AI book here and just going to repeatedly jam Thailand.
And he uses cultural for ops. Yeah, this is there's going to be a little uncomfortable for Jesse because he will now have to use ABM for ops.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so put 2 in Thailand, 2 in Chile, or 3 in Thailand to stop this nonsense. Yeah, I mean, he does have to use ABM for ops, but I think that's okay.
I mean, just what we talked about. There's not a lot of great coup targets on the board, even for ABM. What are you gonna coup Iran? I don't. I like this.
You do. I might put 3 in Thailand. Let's see if we get Southeast Asia scoring here.
Yeah, that's true. Chile not that important at the moment because South America's still 8. So yeah, okay. I thought Kris had the scoring. So
That's interesting. He just used 2 very good events plus a 4 on. They got nothing for it.
Yeah, I mean, he prevented Jesse from using ABM for a coup, but that's not a huge gain there. Okay, and so now Jesse with headline peak and an 11 VP lead and control of South America. Kris needs to draw a 5-year plan here, or I think that might be all she wrote. Let's see. Okay, and Jesse with the scoring and with headline peak. So Kris headlining Junta.
Makes sense. I think Nixon is a good headline here.
Potentially puppets, so you get 1 in Colombia. Get one Colombia, 1 Uruguay, something in there, just so you make sure you take a non-battleground. But yeah, with Junta, Jesse now is not going to get control.
You could still headline it, right? Because a bad coup, and I believe it's still 8, right?
A bad coup, and it's still 8. But Kris obviously will follow up AR1 by taking that country, and then it becomes 5.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, is you could just headline South America right now.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, that's true.
Right, and then you just play Nixon, and the game's over.
So if Kris, if Jesse headlined South America, I would imagine, what would you do? You'd coup Peru. You put 2 into Argentina to stop control, and then you'd coup Peru. And if you get a 3, then South America becomes only 5, but still 5 is
still
the same as what you're getting. Yeah, it's true. The downside, of course, is that move would leave DEF CON at 3 and allow Kris to coup somewhere else.
Okay,
But that's an interesting move. Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, but then you're able to play Nixon, and then you're able to space.
That's true.
And
yeah, and now Kris does have one small step, I believe. But still, obviously, Jesse's going to get that first space shot off. If you can get 5, so unless Kris puts 2 in Argentina and then coups Peru and rolls a 6, you're still getting at least 5 out of South America.
Yeah, if it's me, I'm headlining South America. That's as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah,
Because this could be 0 points very easily when Kris has his.
that's true. I guess if he goes something like 2 Brazil, coup Venezuela, and he gets at least a 4, Kris could flip both of those. It goes from 10 to 0. You're right. All right, you've talked me into it, Ted. South America. I like South America as a headline.
Panama makes a degree of sense too, but it kind of doesn't matter because both Brazil and Argentina are vulnerable.
Okay, so Brazil. Oh no. Well, doesn't matter. Rolls a 1.
Doesn't matter. Right, but I think with that, if you'd headline South, the game would have been over.
Yes, that's true. Game is over. It would have been 19. Would have been 19.
Okay. Well, either way. So now Jesse I think you certainly see Nixon played for the event here.
Yeah, I would be going. Okay, yeah, I'd be okay. So Kris now is going to look for that 3 VPs. Okay, well, he's not going to find it.
I believe that this nation should
I think I'm spacing here.
achieving the goal
Okay, yep.
That should be the game.
of landing a man on
Yep.
the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
And that's not going to do it.
Doesn't matter.
All right, so Jesse. Oh, yeah, and it's threatening Europe control, but it's too little too late. And Jesse Seeberg-Gordon